it's live.
It is live.
I was over here fixing
Female groups of our time.
A little gospel start off the day.
push.
Alright.
Headphones and stuff.
Have my hat on today because I don't have a haircut, so there's that. Face is always getting so.
This kind of life, I'm living the best of life.
Look now, don't stop.
I just realized it was. I'm living the best of life.
So today we have Branden filling in for Sydney because Sydney is working an event on campus that she didn't realize she was on schedule for. So it should be a good show. We're talking about a bunch of things that maybe it'll strike a nerve in some people and other people it won't. So stay tuned. We have a great show. A lot of music. If you have any requests, let us know. Comment in the chat room below. Or if you have anything you want to talk about, let us know. Comment in the chat room below. If you want to interject your own thoughts and opinions, also that's welcome. So
it will come true. That's his one.
So what's been going on with you, sir?
Nothing. I just wrote down. It's really loud. I just wrote down everything that I have to do and realized that everything was due this week. So it's going to be an interesting week. Hopefully I can lock in and focus. My word for the week is lock in. I got that from Diddy. Lock in. It's time to lock in.
I tried to do that same thing. I just stopped because I was just getting overwhelmed. I was just like, yeah.
You gotta plan it out. That's what I realized. You gotta write everything you gotta do down and then put it in sequential order when it's due, and then make like a what's the most important, what's gonna take the longest, and once you plan it out, it's a little easier. This is coming from like the best procrastinator of all time. So if I say it worked, then you should be good at it.
Yeah, I feel like it's so simple to procrastinate. I mean, it's so easy to procrastinate too.
Oh, I didn't do any work this weekend.
This week. I didn't do anything this whole week.
I don't think I've done any real work for a while, actually.
Side note, why
what?
why is your shirt unbuttoned?
See, I think it's very important to sometimes show a little bit, just a tad. You like to keep it fresh.
This fool said he on the DeaConnection.
You need a little ventilation. Real poppy with it. That's all good, though. Real poppy with it. I'm living the best of life.
About to go live on air, so tune in to radio.wfu.edu/listen if you want to hear us on air.
So interesting.
How was it interesting?
I don't know. Simple.
And good Sunday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the DeaConnection. It's your boy Bradley Singleton bringing it to you live. Sydney cannot be here today, so we can't do our little funky intro. But we do have a special guest in the building taking her place.
My guest still? I've been here like 5 times.
You're right. Okay. You're the co-star.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
You like that, didn't you?
That was cool.
You actually probably didn't. But now we have Branden Cook in here. Sydney has to work our Love Feast event, which is a big way for us to do this because she's a president's aide, which is a pretty good honor, I'd say.
Pretty dope.
So shout out to her for doing that, and she will be back next week. But today, we have a bunch of interesting stuff to talk about.
Interesting. He knows I don't want to talk about this.
Why don't you want to talk about it?
It's just not something, like, it's not an opinion I necessarily always publicly give, just because it can be controversial and seem as if it's complaining and not reality.
I mean,
If that makes sense.
It's your experience though. So basically, what Brandon is talking about. So Brandon and I were riding back from Charlotte. No, sorry guys, put this on repeat. We were riding back from Charlotte about a week ago, right after Thanksgiving break. And we were just having, simple car conversation, and it came up, like, he has this theory behind Wake Forest and being black at Wake Forest called breaking down the white wall. And I thought that was so interesting because it's kind of true. So at first we were obviously talking about the social standpoint of things. So, like, trying to court a young woman of the majority, so I guess a white woman, from a black perspective. And we were saying that in order to do that, we have to break down the white wall that is blocking us from. And maybe you can better explain.
I mean, we're really thinking about it. It's not even that. Like, it's that's where the thought started. But really thinking about it, sometimes it can be just connections in general. It could be just with different people who don't look like you in general. And I call it the white wall because we go to Wake Forest, which is a predominantly white institution. But I mean, it could be like that really with almost any different culture and different race or ethnicity. So it's just a theory that I have that's proven to be true for the most part from my experience. And I always say from my experience because it might not be true for everybody in every situation, but from my experience, this is what I've dealt with.
And okay, so you want to give an example? Well, you want to give an example?
You want to just jump right into it?
I mean, might as well.
Okay, so for example, you'll have a situation where basically being a black male student that does not play football or basketball or some type of sport and has not rushed in a white fraternity, you're almost playing catch up because you don't have the connections that the fraternity will give you. You don't have the exposure that the sports will give you. So it's an interesting dynamic and an interesting place in Wake Forest society, specifically from my experience, like I said. But it's just you're put in an interesting position where you have to you meet people differently. Your interactions are differently. So a girl that maybe to all the frat guys is easy to talk to because they've done date functions and they've done mixers and stuff like that, so they see them all the time. Well,
they're comfortable around them.
Exactly. Yeah. So but for me, the conversation is a little different, the interaction is a little different, even though I might approach the same way or might talk to them in a similar way, or even being a gentleman, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I watch it, I observe it, and I try different things, and always stay true to who you are and yourself. But it's definitely an interesting dynamic. I always said I want to write a book on it.
I mean, I think it'll be a good book though, because there's so many layers to the white wall
definitely.
that people don't even realize. So I like to say, like, before you even come into Wake Forest University as an African American male, you kind of have a couple strikes against you. And I think that's what you were alluding to when you said you don't play a sport. You
are not a fraternity.
You're not a
and
fraternity.
I want to clear why I call it the white wall, because I feel like it's almost, I don't want to call it a curtain, because a curtain eventually you can walk through. But I feel like it's a wall because you for example, if I'm talking to a woman, let's say a white woman, I'm talking to a white woman at Wake Forest, trying to get to know her, whatever. It's a lot harder to do so because you feel as though you can only get so far in the conversation. So I've had girls that I've had actual classes with, been in group projects with, see them in public, it's almost high and by, as if they don't know who I am.
And the excuse is, I didn't even see you there.
Or I'm so antisocial.
I'm in my own world.
But it's not necessarily true, and it's like, you don't have to feed me that. Like, just be real with yourself. That's what shout out to Jonathan McLean. He started that. Like, you got to be real with yourself. Like, that's not what it is. I don't know what it is specifically. I mean, that's part of the theory, but it's definitely a wall. We could have even if we have a little conversation, it'll be cool. Maybe 5-minute conversation, maybe sometimes longer. But hey, let's go out. Hey, let's do something. Hey, whatever. You know, it's a lot harder. You don't feel as comfortable asking those questions and doing that and seeking those things out. And people can say, well, you know, you stick to your culture, whatever. But I don't, you know, that's not the type of person I am.
Right.
So.
But I mean, I don't know.
I don't think you are either. I mean, I think we both are very well-rounded people in all aspects of it.
But even us being as social as we are, still have to like, we're at a roadblock when it comes to certain things. Cause like, the third thing I want to say, it was 3 things, 3 strikes. So the first one is don't play sports. Second one is not a fraternity. Third one is socioeconomic status. That's a big one.
That's a big one too.
Because I feel like even a lot of fraternities and frat life and socioeconomic status go kind of hand in hand in a sense, I would say.
A lot of times.
Yeah. So I feel like the social aspect for me at Wake Forest won't be as whole because I'm not a part of those organizations. But that's not to say I don't have a good time here and I haven't had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a great time. There's times when I haven't, but I think overall, like, as much as I admittedly complained and wanted to leave, looking back on it, it was definitely still a successful and good 4 years. So,
yeah,
you know, this isn't, like I said, I don't like talking about it because I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining and nagging, because I feel like these are legitimate things that people go through. But at the same time, like, I don't know.
Well, we're gonna take a quick song break real quick while we are on that topic. 'Cause I like that topic. I want to stay there for a little minute. And I have a couple shout outs to get to too. So right now we have a little Bruno Mars off his new album. That's What I Like. I like that album. You like that album?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I like it.
Yeah, it's a real old school and chill.
Yeah.
So we had a little Bruno Mars. That's What I Like on the DeaConnection. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
We gotta play Childish Gambino's album.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
So yeah, the White Wall. Look, that is so.
If I was a writer, I would do it. Maybe I'll just write down thoughts and stuff.
Just do a journal, and then at the end, like, put all your journals together. That's how 12 Angry Men was written.
It's not even like, it's more of a social observation, and I think that's what it really comes down to. So, I mean, if people are interested in a social observation from my experience, then sure. Well, maybe one day I'll write it down. Because, I mean, my mom has always taught me, like, she always tells me, it's not just, you know, how, the things you're going through right now aren't just now. Like, you deal with these types of people and these people in general I lost my train of thought because I started reading the comment.
So the comment at the bottom said, "You don't have to be a writer to write. Go for it," which is what I said.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I'll look into it. But my mom was, like I was saying, my mom was telling me, like, the things you go through here aren't just limited to here. Mm-hmm. That's how the interactions are and stuff in general and in real life. So I don't know. We'll see. It's like you need to learn how to maneuver and how to deal with it now and how to get through it regardless now, so that in real life it doesn't catch you off guard. That's one reason I am thankful to have gone to a PWI though, because I feel like you don't get that at HBCU, and I love HBCUs, and sometimes I wish I did go to HBCU for that culture part that we miss here. But you get to learn how to deal with life, because not everybody looks like you in life.
And I feel like this PWI in particular, because I feel like every PWI is different. You have the public institutions, you have really liberal PWIs, then you have more conservative ones, which is what Wake Forest.
But it claims to be liberal, so it's really interesting, right? Yeah, it's really interesting.
Because we're liberal artists and we claim to be like liberal on paper, so we take all these stands against, like,
I see a lot of conservative.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
It'll be word today.
I don't think it's a word.
Okay, it'll be word today.
I don't think it's a word, but I see a lot, like, you see a lot of conservatives around. I don't know. Who am I, you know? How many songs we got?
2. I'm gonna
play Zombies. You gonna play Zombies?
What you gonna play?
I want to hear Baby Boy. It's a totally different switch up from this though.
Alright.
So, but anyways, but yeah. That's my shit.
I mean, I'm thankful for it as well, because, like, Now, going to Wake and interacting with the people here are going to teach me how to interact with people in life. Because on the career track, it's the same. The companies we met with up there from New York. So the career track is an event that the OPCD, Office of Personal and Career Development, does for the students at Wake to help them find a job in New York, San Francisco, DC. And so when we went up there, it was literally the same people we had to deal with at Wake. Like their mannerisms, their social cues, everything. And I was like, man, like this is...
I think it's interesting. It's very interesting. Okay, this is my favorite song off of Childish Gambino, if you're listening. And I don't know why it is, but I just really kind of connected to it.
Yeah, the whole album, if you want to do a quick switch up, the whole album is really like old school, funky, fresh type.
Rick James, that's what everybody's been saying.
Oh yeah.
I love it though. Personally, I love it. It's a vibe.
Yeah, a lot of artists are, well, I'll say it, a
Him
lot
and
of
Bruno.
artists.
Him and
Yeah, him
Bruno.
and Bruno, because Bruno was like the 90s type, you know, mixed with the modern sound. And this is like 70s, 80s?
No, I think Rick James was before his 70s, right? Was he 60s? Look at our young heads. If anybody was around when Rick James was hot, please correct
And that's
us.
not afraid to show your age.
So
We don't
we're
judge.
not judging you at all.
Okay, so we have another comment. Mrs. White said, you can do what Brad said. Write down your observations, thoughts in a journal, and oftentimes you can go to a publisher with that, and they will pair you up with someone to make your make it publishable. If you feel passionate about it, do it. And he does feel passionate about it. Let me tell you, because every time I run into him, it's like, well, that white wall is still up. It's like the white wall, the Berlin Wall.
Nah, man, I don't know. I'm trying to switch from complaining so much and just deal with life. But I mean, like, this is life. You know, this is what we go through.
Oh, and it's so funny though.
Shout out to all the people that don't got the white wall up though, because there are people out there that don't.
Yeah, but y'all understand we're talking about the white wall. So it was funny, but because, and I might say this on air too, I was talking to this young lady of the majority, a white woman, a white girl. She's a freshman. She's a part of an organization I'm a part of. And she's liberal. She's from DC. I'm not gonna say her name because I haven't asked her about my faculty on her, so I'm gonna keep it anonymous. And I was telling her about my experience being black on this campus, and really she was just sitting there like,
Doesn't click.
it doesn't.
And that's why I think
It
I maybe
doesn't.
told one person that doesn't look like me how I felt about it, and it didn't click. Because to them, it's they're not on the same page. I mean, you can't. Like
She was really surprised. She was like, "Wow, I knew, but I didn't know." And I was like,
exactly. You don't
"So
know.
you didn't know?
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
say you knew
You didn't
or
know.
you thought you knew when you didn't know."
Exactly.
I'm gonna turn this light on again out here. It's dead out there.
But yeah, I realized that too. Like they don't know, and then you try and tell them about it, and they're just like, it either doesn't connect or they don't get it, and I can't make you get it. Like you can't really make somebody get it because that's an experience. That makes sense.
It does. The white wall won't allow them to experience it. Did I use it right? Right? Let's say it can be just
pretty
open
on.
for
It's pretty on.
interpretation.
Pretty on.
But we're about to go back on air, so I'm gonna bring that point up. We can elaborate on that. A little
And this
bit.
is all socially, like in the business world and professional world. That's totally like own thing of itself. But I guess I'll wait to be on air then.
And what's going on, beautiful people? We are back here with the DeaConnection. It is about 19 minutes after the top of the hour.
You know,
okay.
when you say that. Who was the other guy? Not Steve Harvey. Who was Michael Baisden?
Michael
He used to say
Baisden.
that all the time.
R.I.P. to Michael Baisden show. That don't come on no more.
Oh man,
Be
I
a
don't listen to
Hooger
radio,
with
so I
that.
wouldn't know. But
Yeah.
man, shout out to Michael Baisden. I used to listen to him every morning.
Yeah. But yeah. So we're here with Branden Cook today. He's replacing Sydni Williams just for today because she's working at our Love Feast event on campus, a tradition at Wake Forest University. She's a president's aide, so she's
What
doing
is
big
Love
things.
Feast?
It's like
It's never been. I
It's
said I was gonna go this year, but
I did too. I've never been either. But from what I hear, it's like you go there, you're part of the Winston-Salem community comes, Wake Forest there, and you eat.
which side of the community?
No, it's not a community. Don't even ask
Okay,
that.
go ahead.
You sing Christmas carols, you pray. It's like a church service, sort of.
Okay.
And they have like biscuits and coffee and
Biscuits?
stuff. Yeah, not biscuits, bread, rolls.
Okay.
And you light candles and you sing, and it's beautiful.
It's like a communal thing, like to bring
yeah.
everybody together for the holidays.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
Yeah.
A Moravian tradition. That's right.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Kayla
Amador.
Amador. Do I know Kayla?
You might
That
know if
sounds
you see her. You know if you see her.
Yeah.
But
Thank you, Kayla.
But yeah, so it's a tradition that week that she's working and being a part of. So good for her. But so before the break, I was explaining, or during the break for our Facebook Livers, I was talking up to them about how I was trying to explain my experience to a young lady of the majority, or a white girl, a freshman at Wake. And I was just telling her, what it is to be black or be of color on campus, being a black male that doesn't play a sport, not in a frat, or doesn't have a high socioeconomic status. I ain't broke. Don't get me wrong now. Okay, I'm not up there in that top whatever.
But it's just different. Like
Yeah.
like you could be middle class, upper middle class, but I mean, I still don't have a house in the Hamptons. I'm not from New England.
I don't vacation in Europe whenever I want to. I don't go to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Or
and that's
anywhere.
fine that you can do. That's amazing. That's great. There's no hate in my body for that. But
Right.
like, there's just a different connection with people that have similar statuses.
Mhm.
And Wake Forest is very cliquey, anyways, to begin with. If you don't play a sport and don't have that clique, and you're not in a fraternity and don't have that clique, if you're not white, don't have that clique.
If you don't wear vineyard vines,
you don't have
stuff that
clique.
you don't find in the mall.
So it's very cliquey to begin with, but then if you even break that even further down, it's even more. So I mean, I found my people and I'm cool. So I'm not over here like lonely or nothing. I don't want it to sound like that, but it's just like I said, it's a social observation.
Yeah, but back to the story. So I was telling her about my experience, and her face, it was like a deer in the headlight. So she was like, "Wow, like I had no idea, and I knew, but I didn't know."
Of course you weren't, because nobody made you conscious of it.
Exactly.
That's really what it
That's
comes down
really what
to.
it is.
Because a lot of times you are in your own little world, as they say, and you don't realize the effects that it has on other people. Sometimes even just like, oh, I was just being nice, whatever. But it's like, I don't know. I really don't like.
Or the
I kind of want to sit down and think about.
Or the whole. It was like, I have black friends, and I don't ever see it. I'm like, because most of those friends that you have that are black probably.
Similar socioeconomic status. Let's put it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't. I don't want to say those are the token few, but those are the token few. They don't.
If you want to be real, yeah.
They don't
cool,
see. Those are the ones that don't see color.
Those are the ones that don't have a lot of culture.
Yeah.
Sometimes which is cool. I mean, everybody grows up differently, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that if they went to the HBCU, it might be a culture shock
Which
for
is
them.
crazy. Like, I just don't see how, like, you can be black and ignorant to
Being black.
being black, right? I wrote my paper on, I wrote it in a blog post. I was saying, because, this is a good topic to talk about, too. So, the black bourgeoisie, we had to talk about that in the, talk about that in Dr. French's African American rhetoric class. Yeah, I like that. I like that segue. Yeah. But basically, so we're saying, is the black bourgeoisie class holding back black people and African Americans as a unit? So like people, so for example, black bourgeoisie, you think about people like Stacey Dash, Clarence Thomas, people that are black, but they're all like, BET is bad. They don't think that black people should isolate themselves.
But isolation only comes from not being accepted or invited to the majority.
Right.
So I'm an actor, so I think immediately to Oscar So White. And also like what constitutes a black film. Well, it's not a black film, it's just a film with a lot of black people in it. So why has this become so let's say for after Christmas or what is it? What is the one that just came out?
Almost Christmas.
Almost Christmas.
Will Packer directed.
So I even call myself like, yeah, it's just a black Christmas movie, and I have to stop myself. I'm like, no, it's just a movie about Christmas. What makes this different from isn't It's a Wonderful Life a Christmas movie? Like, which is any other white Christmas, Home Alone or something. Like, what makes it
Elf?
You know what I mean? What makes it different? Obviously, story, but like, it's just a different culture showing how their Christmas went. So, but it gets isolated, and we sometimes isolate ourselves because we don't feel accepted. So we have to make our own way. There aren't a lot of Hollywood major studios producing movies like that. So we have to make our own production companies, and we have to do our own thing, and it becomes majority black, which is fine. But at the same time, like, black should be normal.
Yeah, and I have to ask you this too while we're on that topic.
Black,
so,
by the way.
why don't black movies show up at the Oscars then? Unless, you know,
because the people who are voting can't connect. It's hard for and it's hard for a guy like what's the guy who's in Gran Turismo? He just looks like Clint Eastwood. It's hard for a guy like Clint Eastwood to connect with a movie about the black experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just doesn't. It doesn't sometimes connect. And a lot of times, because black filmmakers and stuff have to do their own thing, they don't get the funding that they do. So the quality isn't as good. Like, I was watching Almost Christmas, and I was like, the script is mediocre. Like, it's really not that great. But sometimes we don't have the funds.
I get that, because I asked that because you have...
We got so off topic.
We did. But I mean, it's all the same thing, because, again, the white wall, like, even black films can't break down the white wall in order to get to the Oscars, right?
But they still make a way.
They still make it.
And that's what I love. Like, I think it's okay to acknowledge it, but don't let it stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Be very aware of it, but figure out how to work around it and still make it pop. That's what I say. Like, that's like one of my mottos in life. I'm gonna make it pop regardless of what you try and say or how you try and stop me. I'm gonna make a way. So, Imadre, she'll call me after the show.
Okay, we're gonna get back into the song break. This is a little old school joint by Mariah Carey. I heard. I was in the mall, matter of fact, in basic old Forever 21.
You were in Forever 21?
They have a men's section. Don't even try to handle me like I was in there.
No judgment. Do your thing.
They do have a men's section.
Do your thing, man.
Anyway, so this is Mariah Carey Someday on the DeaConnection. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Black movie or the funny black friend that tells it like it is. What she mean by that statement? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so Jacayla said black movies or the funny black friend that tells it like it is. I guess she's saying like that's what they want to see, maybe. So Miss White says, when someone says that they don't see color, that is a problem. You should see color, but it should not matter.
Agree.
I agree.
Or except, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's color there, and nobody's colorblind. So, I mean, of course you see color. Ain't nobody colorblind. But it's just accepting it and wanting to be around and deal with different cultures.
Right. So we have a couple more comments here. We can't have a major role. That's true. Like being limited to certain roles.
But then you have the weird cases like Denzel, and you have now Michael B. Jordan is coming out. Like you have cases where people have been breaking down the wall, but just not enough. Like it's still there's no black head of a major studio, and heads of the major studios are the ones that greenlight films. So that's part of the reason there aren't any black major production
controversy films around like blacks getting these lead roles though, because then you have Idris Elba, who was considered for a minute to play 007, but everybody was like, "Chuh."
That's also you dealing with like the British people and what they think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they on another level too. I love the British people. Shout out to the ends. But I mean, yeah. I mean, you have people getting mad because there's a black Santa Claus right now at the Mall of America. calling the
serious?
N-word and all types of stuff. Yeah, this is the first time ever that there's a black Santa in the Mall of America, and people are outraged. Like, he's a fictional character.
Right. Santa ain't real. My mom made that clear.
Yeah, my grandma ruined that for me.
Yeah, she very early. I don't think I was even like 5 or 6. They were like, "Where's Santa Claus doing? Go around parading like we don't work hard to give you the stuff that you got." So,
which I think there's a balance. Like, not to go with your mom, but like, or my grandma for it. But like, I think there's a balance. Like, let a kid have a little imagination, but at the same time, like, there isn't a Santa Claus. I'm sorry.
there isn't, and you know. I don't know.
I'm about to skip word. I feel you. Shout out to you. What else were we saying though? But I don't know. I could have a whole like segment on being black in movies and acting and stuff. So I try not to go too much on a tangent. But yeah,
it all falls under the same realm, but. We're going to try to get back into our Wake Forest experience after this break and talk about the good side of Wake Forest that we don't talk about
sure.
too often. You want to start thinking now before we get on here? It'll take you a minute.
Nah. It's some good parts. I have plenty to talk about. Play what we got, another song?
Or yeah, one more.
It's Jay-Z's birthday. Play a Jay-Z song.
Oh, Jay-Z song.
Yeah, the academics. Yeah.
What's Jay-Z song?
Just go to Jay-Z. How much we got on that? Okay. Go to his actual page. Make sure it's cool.
Empire State.
No.
Holy Grail.
No, keep going down. You just started to song. Go down. Play old Jay-Z. Keep going. Well, all of these are explicit.
Yeah.
Well,
I think was he on the one with Pharrell?
yes.
What's it called?
Beautiful. That's not the right one, but yeah, just do that. Are you just gonna go now?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, welcome back to the DeaConnection, guys. It is now, let's see...
33 past
30.
the hour. And now it's time for boom. It's your word.
Right, we need to get that. Now we need to get that. We need to get the segment.
I used to love that show because it was like the old radio like movie. How they do the radio back in the, like way back in the day before TV and stuff. They had like radio films, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or radio shows where they had like scripts and everything. And it was so cheesy and so corny, but I loved it because I used to listen to it during
I love
before in school.
I love the Quiet Storm, like at night when you have the
Quiet Storm.
Yeah.
This is smooth.
Yeah,
DJ Branden with the
right.
Quiet Storm.
They be like,
that's when
we
we
got
got
we got Luther Vandross coming. We got Dance with My Father.
Oh god, that's hilarious because that's so true.
Put you to sleep. I don't understand why they play the slow stuff at night. You think they play some uplifting stuff in the car?
Bradley, do I need to answer that?
I mean, I get.
The slower
I
stuff
know.
at
I
night?
know why. I mean, I know why. I'm just saying, like, if I'm in a car, I'm not. About
Oh,
to
you're
turn
going
on-
to sleep, but that's when you turn on some pop or whatever. That's why there's a great balance.
You
of
turn on
music.
some alternatives.
You know what I mean? Something to keep
Here's
you
some
up.
chain smokers, some Katy Perry.
A little bit.
Okay.
Shout out to the chain smokers.
Yeah. How do you think? So Brandon and I went to a formal yesterday, guys.
It's amazing. I love it.
We have Caucasian friends. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. But nah. How do you think that was? How do you think it went?
I had fun. I mean, I've never been to a form. I went to one formal one time, and it was because I knew the girl really well from theater. But this is only like my second or third one ever going to, so it was fun. It's an experience we don't. We all know why exactly. It was an experience that that we don't get to experience a lot. We don't get to it. That's part of the white wall too.
We're almost over the white wall. We almost got over it.
Sorry. There was just another connection.
Our whole life.
Or maybe
It's a connection.
maybe it's me. Like you say, maybe it's us. Maybe we haven't been doing enough self-reflection on why have you never gotten an invite to formal besides this year?
Like formal where I dress up. I've gone to date functions before. I've never gotten invited to a formal.
So it's me. It's me.
No.
I'm-
My first time getting invited was last year though.
That's what's up. I mean, it's interesting.
Because I feel like, but no, okay, so break it down. Let's get deep again. Because I feel like the reason why a lot of black people don't get invited is because I feel like we have to prove ourselves that we can be around that group of people.
I don't know if I agree, but I'm not here to prove myself.
Because
to nobody about that, if that makes sense.
Okay, so
I don't know if I agree though.
Let me explain. I think when white people see black people, they have preconceived notions and stereotypes in their head about how we behave,
but
and
everybody,
how we interact with the people.
Correct.
But I feel like once they get to know who we are,
but it's hard to do that with the white wall.
Exactly. That's my point. That was my point. And I feel like with me, I'm black, but since I look a certain way, act a certain way, I don't give off I don't fit any of the stereotypes that may be set against me. You feel me?
I'm black and I do theater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
you're invited.
Like
you're at the next day function.
No. I think, but it's funny because it wasn't until this year, really, like I said, this year that I even got one that wasn't from theater people that I knew. So I feel like I look more approachable.
Yeah.
Partly because I am a light-skinned black male, and the preconceived notion is that they're less threatening.
And that was my thing.
And I do theater, and
right.
I mean everybody pretty much knows what
and we
they
don't
say about
and we
theater
don't
people, so.
yeah and we don't
and
we don't behave like what they see as stereotypical African American. Like we went to the day function yesterday. We were real behaved. We drank whatever.
But I hate saying behave because it sounds like
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That
like,
we have to be tamed.
Boy, like
exactly.
I was lit.
Yeah,
I was having a great time. Like you know what I mean? Like everything was kosher. I had a great time and I didn't feel like I had to act a certain way or anything. But no, I definitely understand what you're saying.
At a certain point, do you feel that people were looking at you like, who invited him? I'm not saying I was.
Me personally?
Yeah, I'm not saying I did that to me, but
nah, not yesterday. Also, the sorority we went to doesn't have that bad of. I'm trying not to name drop, but the sorority we went to, they're not known for that. They're pretty cool. Mm-hmm. A couple of other ones we would have pulled up to, maybe.
They'd have been like,
maybe.
Who invited them?
Oh wait, is that Juju on the beat? You want to dance?
Don't get me started.
But what's bad is Bradley is a dancing dude, so it's like
exactly
like, and I dance too, but like it's like you don't want to do that, but at the same time, like
when that song comes on, you have to perform.
But I think that's funny. I think that's really funny.
But you don't want to.
I love.
You don't want to draw attention. Like yeah, you don't want to draw attention to yourself by when a certain song comes on, you get in the middle and show out.
Yeah, but like, yeah, he was, you know, so I didn't really even notice him until the song came on, and all of a sudden he's just in the middle, like breaking it down.
Right. Like yesterday we did Juju on the beat. They were like, "That was so good. It was so rhythm."
And I can't even
so
really
much
do
rhythm.
the dance like that. Keep it honest. I just have a little rhythm so I could keep up. But like, I'm not even that great at doing the dance.
You got rhythm.
Well, not all black people got rhythm.
That's true. That is so true.
What was we talking about originally, though? Do you remember?
I mean, it all falls under the white wall.
I guess so.
Oh, why we don't get invited to date functions? Why we don't get invited to social events? Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you because I got plenty of friends that, I mean, if they want to go somebody new or whatever, but that's the thing, they don't want to do anything new because everybody's so cliquey here that they want to go with somebody that was in their fraternity mixture or something like that.
And also, think about who will be inviting us. White girls. Now, I feel like it's a perception around a white girl taking a black guy as their date to a date function.
Sometimes. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't know. This is one of those things where I have to sit down and like think for it on a couple of days and then come back to it. Because I don't want to, like, I want to articulate like properly and say exactly what I mean and stuff like that. So
what I mean by that is like, okay, I might be cool with Becky, and we use Becky with the whole because I mean Beyonce said it. Shoot, we can use it.
We're gonna just keep going with the stereotypes and generalizations.
Right. So somebody invites me. Somebody white invites me.
There we go. That's good.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm friends with somebody white. But then if I show up to their date function, their friends will be like, "Oh, you didn't tell us you're bringing so and so."
See, I don't get that. I don't like, and maybe that's just me personally, but I've never felt like that, and maybe that's also because I feel like I can not adapt, but like I can, depending on the place, like I can be there and be comfortable and stuff like that. I've never felt uncomfortable or looked at or whatever, and like I said, maybe that's just me personally, but I don't feel like people are staring at me and looking at me. Now, if I was in the Hamptons at some, dinner party and they, you know what I mean, that might be a little different. Maybe I would be a little more self-conscious just because there's a whole thing behind that. But I don't know. I don't feel that way when I go to these functions and go to these things.
I mean, I don't either. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit.
Just for the combo, right?
Just keep moving, get people's brain juice thinking a little bit. But I mean, nonetheless, those are some things that I've heard have happened at those events. It's never happened to me. I've always gone there, had a great time.
Sure.
Love you, mean it. See you later, and then bit about my day.
Keep it moving. Yeah. But when you this is another good point. When you get excluded from certain things, and like a lot of people sometimes when they first come say that they don't feel like they belong, or they don't feel like that people accept them or whatever, and it's because of things like this, of things of not being invited to certain things, or not not feeling like other people value them or want to hang out with them or whatever. Like, and I observe, why a lot of black people only hang out with black people on this campus unless you play a sport or unless you are in a fraternity that's a white fraternity. And you wonder why, but that's why. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody outside of surface level, nobody is really trying to, I don't know.
Well, keep on that thought because I heard a good point in there. We're going to go to a quick song break. It's Jay-Z's birthday. I got a little Jay-Z queued up right here. So, yeah.
Let's see what he picked for Jay-Z's birthday.
I'm getting better at the song choice.
Okay.
All right. So, this is a little Jay-Z. Have the DeaConnection. Keep it locked. We'll be right back in about 5 or 6 minutes. So, stay tuned.
What did you pick? Hey.
Had to give him a little, give it to me, Pharrell and all them. But the point was something you made was,
I just want you to know. That's why I got my shirt like this.
I'm dressed like this. He's dressed like that. I have a polo hat, a Memphis Grizzlies jacket, and a hoodie.
Black people are such brand hoes.
Look at this.
Black people are such brand hoes. And I'll admit it to myself, but like we are so bad at that.
We really are. Let me put my hat back on. But yeah, so we were just talking about our experiences here. If you're just tuning in, we're just talking about our experiences here as men of color who don't belong to a lot of the mainstream social groups on campus. You like that? Mainstream social groups?
I like that. Actually,
like
we should copyright that.
Right. Along with the white wall.
Along with the white wall.
Along with the white wall.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Wake Forest, you're like a go-to black guy? Like for administrators and things like that? Like they use you a lot for certain things?
In the theater department, because I'm like the only one.
Are you like the only black?
We have one other guy who wants to do more producing and stuff, so he doesn't act as much, but I think consistently, yeah.
Do you get annoyed by that sometimes? You don't gotta answer. You can plead the fifth.
Yes and no, and I'll leave it at that for now. It's has its perks, but it also has its kind of like, I feel like almost every season now has had something to do with race, and I'm sick of talking about race all the time in plays. Which I mean, it's a very valuable thing, but like at the same time, like I'm not always trying to sit here and make everything ain't got to be about race all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it don't always have to be about race. Let's do the death of a salesman or something like that, and like best man get the part. Like, not everything got to be like white people versus black people, or somebody calling somebody out. Like, I don't know, but that's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I asked that because when we are able to break, I'm wearing the white wall out. I don't care though. When we are able to break down the white wall when it comes to administration and professors and things like that, I feel like they choose certain people in the black community.
I feel like in high school I was definitely that one.
Yeah. So
in
like,
high school I was definitely like, oh, you're black, like we can trust you type thing.
Yeah, you're not like the other ones.
Yeah, which is cool, but at the same time it's like
there are other people here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. Sometimes you get a little insight. But like, this is what I feel bad about. I mean, I'm light skinned. If I was dark skinned, it wouldn't be like this. And that's just the fact of the matter. Like, that's just the truth from my eyes. Like dark skinned dudes with this criminals. Like it's really like people really like it's a totally different viewpoint in just a few shades. I don't know how that person is.
It really is like, and you can keep going with that while I choose another song, but
it's interesting. I don't really have much. I do, but I don't really know where I'm going with it. So sorry.
You're good.
If I need to speak up too, let me know, because I mumble. So let me know. I'm a stopper.
But what were we saying?
I was saying if I was darker, it wouldn't be like that.
Oh yeah. Cause look at me. I just feel like I hate to go into conversations about colorism, because even as light-skinned people, I've been told we have a privilege being light-skinned, so we can't see certain things because of our privilege. And I acknowledge that off bat, so don't criticize me for what I say.
I agree 100%. If I was dark with my shirt like this, so much I say.
Anyway, so first of all, you couldn't see it.
Had nothing to do with anything, right?
You couldn't see it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's crazy.
But no, I just feel like they have to prove themselves 2 times harder than we do. We can go in this space and people will not feel threatened by us. Like, I'll be the first. I'm not a threat to nobody on this campus. People don't walk on the other side of this thing when I walk by.
Oh, don't let you wear a hood, though. It's weird. It's really interesting. Shout out to Ryan, too. We were talking about Oscar So White and stuff earlier, Ryan. You missed it. But, like, it's really interesting with, like, me with a hood on and, like, a white dude with a hood on and the difference. And, like, my mom telling me that when I go certain places I can't wear my hood and stuff. And, you know, if it's just a regular white dude, it's okay for him. And like it's really interesting, and it's nothing but stereotypes, preconceived notions, and generalizations. Cause I'm not the most harmless. You know what I mean? Like I ain't out here trying to do all of that, man. My ears is cold. I got big ears. My ears is cold, so I just wanted to cover them up a little bit. That's it, man. Like, it depends. It doesn't seem like I've been able to break this one. Love it, Ryan.
Okay, yeah,
You also missed the beginning of the white wall, though. But, like, love it. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Okay, so Ryan said, being a dark-skinned black girl, she's able to break down this white wall. How have you been able to do that? Can you, real quick, tell us how you've been able to break down that white wall? Was it tough? Was it...
Ryan's also just a great person, though.
Yeah,
like
a big personality.
Yeah. So,
and do you feel like you're that token black friend too? I mean, to put you on the spot, but do you feel that way sometimes? I feel like I'm that token black friend for a lot of people.
Sometimes. I mean, for the theater people, I mean, they don't it's only 2 of us. So.
For the journalism, I'm the only black journalism minor. So I just say less, fam. Say less, fam.
Say less. No, it's cool. Anything y'all want us to talk about? Yes, I was that token black friend. Yes, we talked about this before, Ryan. We actually have. It's interesting. You missed our whole other conversation. Go back and watch it. We'll talk about it. Me and Ryan are doing a comic book together with a black superhero.
Talk about that.
I mean, Ryan's not here, so we can't talk about it as much. But me and Ryan feel very similar about how black people are viewed in. I was told you are different than other black people. I was also called white. Yeah, me too, a lot. But yeah, we'll talk about the little black superhero thing in a second.
I have to give a quick shout out to
There you go.
And what's going on, guys? We are back here with the DeaConnection on this beautiful Sunday. We have about 9 more minutes left in the show. Before we get out of here, I want to make a quick plug for Miss Kayla Amador. I didn't forget Kayla. She is putting together an organization on campus, trying to promote interracial identities on campus. And she's trying to help promote Swirl. The name of the group is Swirl. An emerging group on campus whose goal is to celebrate multiracial identities and improve a space for people of every background to discuss their experiences and issues of identity and make connections with other students. They plan to have their first meeting Wednesday, December 7th at 6 p.m. in South Hall. If you have any questions or if they cannot make it to the meeting, they should feel free to email Kayla Amador at amadke15@wfu.edu or Jules Amosa at amosja16@wfu.edu. Alright, so Brandon, during the break you were talking about you and Ryan Oakley trying to create a black superhero magazine. Can you talk about that a little bit? I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, I've always been loved comic books. When I was a little kid, I used to have like piles and piles and piles of them. And especially with Marvel and DC coming out with so many superhero movies, we thought it would be a good idea to do it. She's a very talented artist. If you haven't checked out any of her work, check it out on Instagram.
I concur.
I have a lot of stories and stuff, and I used to want to be a comic book artist as well back in the day. Fun fact, if you didn't know. But we just been thinking of ideas or whatever, and when it's the right time, we'll come out with something and promote it and do all of that. I'm really excited though. We have a lot of great ideas that we've been talking about. So yeah, be on the lookout.
That's dope.
Yeah, she's dope. Shout out to Ryan.
Yeah, very, very dope. So, we're in the Christmas mood. Enough of the sap stuff. What are you doing for Christmas? Do you know yet?
I think I'm going to Michigan to see my mom. Dear mama, love you. Yeah, it's very cold in Michigan. Very, very cold in Michigan. I think I'm going to see her and my grandparents who live in Ohio. And then for New Year's, I think I'm gonna go see my friend in DC. So shout out to all the people around there.
Lit.
Yes, definitely link up, hit my line. I got my best friend lives out there, so I'll probably go check him out. And have a great New Year. Come back ready to graduate. What about you?
Woo! The big G word,
The
graduate.
big G. I've been ready to do that since I came. We're supposed to be talking about positive things at Wake Forest.
Yeah, we graduating. That's positive.
That's very positive.
There you go.
No, but what do you think? What do you think is like some of the? We complained, well, not even complained. We we talked a lot about some negative social aspects. What do you think overall are some positives that you can say you're happy you went here? I think reflection is always good around this time.
I'm thankful for the people I've met, the friends I've gained. I feel like Wake Forest allowed me to know myself and who I am.
Yes.
Again, because I feel like because of that white wall, you're forced to get to know who you are as a person.
You don't have the crutch of relying on a group to identify for you.
Exactly. Well, that's why I tell people, like, if you don't know you're black before you get here, white people have a funny way of reminding you.
You think so?
Yeah.
How? Mm-hmm. How do you think so? And maybe you can't think of it right now, which is fine. But
I guess on the surface, this is on top of my tongue. How? So, by not being invited to date functions. Or by them just not including you in everyday things. So, like, going to the pit. with people, being invited out places, to parties, getting that bid from a fraternity. That's a big one here.
It took me almost 4 years to finally like feel it was okay to invite somebody to lunch, like just chill, like not even on a date or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like with some people, you don't even feel like you're because of the white wall, but you don't feel like you guys are cool enough to be like, hey, want to go to the pit or something like that and grab lunch. It would feel weird because y'all haven't had enough interaction and enough even like somewhat in-depth combo to do that. And that is part of the main thing of the white wall.
And that is the essence.
But we start talking negatively again. We're supposed to be talking positively.
I know.
Okay, I'll tell you something. So being here, I've gotten amazing opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten at other places. I was able to go to London for a semester, which was absolutely amazing and life-changing, and brought a lot for me, a lot of self-awareness and stuff for me, and things, and hopefully I'll be able to go back. But like some other places, like if I would have went to an HBCU, for example, because of lack of funding and stuff like that, which might not always be the case, but from my understanding. So if I'm wrong, let me know. But you know, you don't get those opportunities to go to DC and New York for spring break or a career trek or something like that. Like I don't think some of these other schools have those opportunities, and so I've definitely, I'm grateful for London because that was life changing. I went all over Europe, and that was like something in my dreams, honestly, where some people have done that their whole lives and stuff. But like, it's dope. I don't know. I'm definitely grateful for those opportunities.
I agree. There are certain opportunities that I've gotten here, like for example, going to New York City and watching Melissa Harris Perry do her thing on MSNBC, meeting all those folks, like you said, the career treks in New York. You know, meeting the director of so-and-so or the head of this and the head of that. I feel like this whole DeaConnection thing wouldn't have been as easy to get off the ground in any other institution. Granted, I may be wrong, but I feel like Wake Forest has provided me with a lot of resources for that as well. A lot of support I've gotten here has been great from certain departments, certain people. Like I said, I credit Wake for a lot. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's not all negative. And I think it's important to always see the positive in the negative.
Right.
You just sit around and mope all day.
Which is why we stayed here for 4 years and not transferred.
Ooh, boy, was it hard. I remember, was it
The first
sophomore?
semester.
Maybe freshman or sophomore.
Freshman.
No, it took me a little bit to actually, like, genuinely hate it for a while.
Ain't seen me
Like,
long, took me a month. That first semester I said.
it took me maybe second semester, maybe beginning of sophomore year. But almost every year I definitely wanted to transfer. But I'm glad I stayed. I mean, it taught me a lot.
But on that note, we ended pretty positive.
Yeah, that was pretty positive.
So thank you guys for tuning in on Facebook Live. Thank you guys for
thank you.
listening on the airways. Brandon, thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
You
It's
brought
fun.
some great insight.
It's been fun.
And remember, from the DeaConnection, we love you. You can do nothing but love us back. Sydney, we're going to see you next week.
Shout out to Sydney.
And we are logging off. Have a great day, everyone. That was a good show.
Yeah.